This is a third stimulus check update. I have a lot of big updates to share with you in this video. The House passed the COVID relief bill on Saturday. Now it is up for the Senate to vote and pass this bill before the March 14th deadline. I'll give you the latest progress according to Democrats and Republicans in the Senate in regards to getting the $1,400 stimulus check. I'll play the clips of exactly what they said. I'll also give you updates on the $15 minimum wage, some other important updates, then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you appreciate these fact-based, fast-paced updates, then hit the like button down below. So, a Republican senator has asked for $10,000 stimulus checks. Republican Senator from Arizona, Paul Gosar, said, "I offered an amendment to prioritize $10,000 stimulus checks to Americans most affected by COVID-19 and lockdowns. Instead, Democrats chose foreign aid, big tech transit, and Pelosi's political priorities over direct relief to American citizens." So, obviously, this is a joke. He didn't mean the $10,000 stimulus checks, but it's his way of pointing out all of the non-COVID related spending going for money abroad, big tech transit, among a few other things, going along with what Republicans are saying, how there is non-COVID related spending in this bill that should not be there. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below, about the non-COVID related spending. Should it be in the bill, out of the bill? Should the Democrats do more to get it out? Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. Let's get into what is happening with the stimulus negotiations. So it is up to the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has a plan for this upcoming week in terms of votes. I'll give you the dates and times. But first, here is Jen Psaki, White House Press Secretary, giving the latest on the updates.
Joining us now, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. Jen, welcome back to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me on this morning.
President Biden has taken to asking critics of his COVID relief bill, what would you cut? The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says that more than 1/3 of the total bill, $700 billion, would not be spent this year, but would be spent between 2022 and 2031. So how does that qualify as COVID relief?
Well, first, Chris, the focus of the package is getting direct checks to the American people, getting vaccines in the arms of Americans, and ensuring that people who need help at this very difficult time can get it. But people also have to plan. Schools have to plan to reopen. They need to do budgetary planning over the course of years. Businesses need to do that as well. So this package is meant to, of course, provide immediate direct relief, but also provide a bridge to help us all get through this crisis.
But let's take one specific area that you just mentioned, schools. The bill would give $170 billion to schools from elementary through college, but the CBO projects that 95% of that money, again, won't be spent this year, but will be spent from 2022 through 2028. And let me drill down even further. $480 million of the COVID relief bill, according to the CBO, would go to the arts, humanities, museums, libraries. Again, what does that have to do with emergency COVID relief and getting kids back into school this year?
Well, first of all, the 90% of this package goes to address the twin crises we're facing right now, Chris, which is getting the pandemic under control and helping the American people go back to work, helping them get the relief they need to get through this period of time. Schools are like businesses, Chris. They need to budgetary plan over a period of time. Some have to front load changes, whether it's to their facilities or ensuring that if they have to hire additional teachers or bus drivers at this point in time to ensure they can do safe social distancing. Well, they have to plan over the period of time. I'm sure I don't want my kids to be going to school where they have to fire teachers next year or won't have to be able to do the facility upgrades, I should say, necessary in order to ensure they're going to school safely. That's exactly what is included in this package.
There is still no straight answer from the White House or Democrats about the non-COVID related spending and how a majority of it is going to be spent the following year. Still unanswered questions, no direct answers, which is pretty frustrating. Let me know what you think about that. Next, let's go into the next steps of what's going to happen for the stimulus package. So this upcoming week, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is going to bring the package to the floor as soon as Wednesday. As soon as he does, once they strip out the minimum wage from it, because the Senate parliamentarians said it wasn't eligible in it, and they may make a few other changes to it, then that's going to begin a 20-hour debate. And at the end of those 20 hours, the Senate will begin their second vote-a-rama. Given the nature of those marathon votes, we cannot predict exactly when the final passage will be, but the last time they had this, it ended at 5 in the morning. So it looks like Thursday or Friday, we may have a final vote. I'll keep you updated on what's going on. Next is a Senate Republican talking about the current COVID relief package.
Let's turn to coronavirus relief. The House just passed a $1.9 trillion package. I know you think it is too much money. There is a lot in here, though, that you do support: direct payments to Americans, money for vaccinations. It appears it won't include a $15 minimum wage hike, which you opposed. Are you open to voting yes on that plan?
I have no clue how it'll come out of the Senate. Republicans have not been involved. I listened to Press Secretary Jen Psaki speaking about how we've been listened to. I started laughing. That is such a joke. You can find one thing perhaps where, oh my gosh, we will get criticized on that, so we'll adapt. But the reality is that they put forward a package which reflects the interest of the Democratic constituencies that elected the president. Yes, it has things for broader Americans, but much of it is only for those. I can give you the examples. $112 million for the San Francisco transit system. Oh, where did that come from? And so reality is that we have something which addresses concerns that Republicans and all Americans have, but disproportionately benefits those of one party. We started off in it together. It ends up being but we're going to take some off the top for our folks. That's not a way to proceed. I'm sorry, this is the direction they're going.
You said it's a joke that President Biden is listening to, but you were one of 10 Republican senators who met with President Biden in the White House. Has the president or anybody in the White House given you any indication at all that they're open to any negotiations?
No. And as you may recall, it was reported afterwards that as President Biden would be speaking to us, his staff would be in the background shaking their head no, as a signal to him as to, no, don't concede on this point. So that's too bad. We've had 5 different COVID relief packages, which passed overwhelmingly on a bipartisan basis. All 5 when President Trump was president and Republicans controlled the Senate. We have demonstrated that we can come together in a way in which the interests of all Americans are represented, and you come up with a better package than if you only have one party's interest represented. My fear, this becomes a Trojan horse for things which actually injure our country. Left-of-center economists, Democratic economists like Larry Summers, have pointed to the danger that this will ignite inflation. Igniting inflation which hurts middle-income families, working-class families, chewing up their savings. This can be the Trojan horse that destroys the future for families, but it sneaks in because it gives these initial benefits.
Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. To me, it still doesn't make sense why there's $112 million going towards the San Francisco transit system, which is Nancy Pelosi's district, when that money could be used to help more Americans across the entire country. Nancy Pelosi still hasn't spoken up about that. Moving on, let's talk about the minimum wage. So with the $15 minimum wage, the Senate parliamentarian said it cannot be in the bill, even though it was in the House version. And then as a result, the Senate Democrats wanted to put a more of a tax on companies, but they decided not to go through with that plan. So Senate Finance Chair Ron Wyden and Senate Budget Chair Bernie Sanders said that they would seek to add additional tax penalties on large corporations that didn't pay the $15 an hour, and they've decided to not do that. So currently there are no other plans. That was the plan B for Democrats. There's nothing else going on right now in terms of $15 minimum wage. It will be stripped. I'll keep you updated on what's going to happen next. Next is Democrat Senator Sherrod Brown talking about the latest progress and what's happening with the third $1,400 stimulus check.
You know, it's an uncomfortable stat, though. There was a bipartisan vote against, technically, this relief bill. Not a single House Republican joined the Democrats, but 2 Democrats joined Republicans in opposing. And I know there's Washington, and there's what we've seen in this polling that you're citing. I've seen those same numbers, too, What's your explanation of why Washington Republicans can't get on board?
Well, the Washington elite are doing it's become a Trump party. It's not a party of reason. It's a party that has turned its back. Mitch McConnell all summer in June and July and August and September and October, as thousands of people were starting to fall into poverty after we did it right back in March. Mitch McConnell continued to say he sees no sense of urgency. So the Republicans failed. They failed for 10 years. They failed to raise the minimum wage.
And the South Carolina governor is leading a group of 21 Republican governors who are against the COVID relief bill. They just wrote a joint letter. In the letter, it said, unlike all previous federal funding packages, the new stimulus proposal allocates aid based on a state's unemployed population rather than its actual population, which punishes states that took a measured approach to the pandemic and entered the crisis with healthy state budgets and strong economies. It goes on to say, a state's ability to keep businesses open and people employed should not be a penalizing factor when distributing funds. If Congress is going to provide aid to states, it should be on an equitable population basis. So currently, the way that it is in the bill, it's $350 billion that's going to be equally distributed among all 50 states and some territories, and they're not happy about that, saying that it is going to give more money towards poorly run Democrat states, and they don't want that to happen. They want it to go on a different criteria in terms of giving money to states. Next up is the former governor of Florida, Rick Scott, who's now a senator for Florida, talking about the COVID relief package and how there is no Republican support. Here's what he has to say.
Do we need to pay for bridges? Does that have anything to do with COVID? Do we need to pay for tunnels for Silicon Valley? Does that do anything? I mean, if you look at what they're doing, if we're focused on COVID, let's take care of the people who have lost their job. Let's help our businesses. Let's make sure we have plenty of tests and make sure we have plenty of vaccine, get that out quickly. But this radical left stuff, well, first off, giving money to states when their revenues have not even gone down, and we've already given them $400 billion, and we don't even know how much has not been spent. I mean, we have $27 trillion worth of debt in this country. Let's spend the money where we need to spend the money, but stop wasting money. Interest rates are going up. Inflation is starting to kick in. We're going to hurt the poorest families in this country if we're not careful. So I want to help people. Republicans want to help people. This is just a radical left-wing agenda that they're trying to cram through because they think they can tie it to COVID.
Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. If you want me to answer your question, just type the word question and leave it down below. So MDTV12 asks, I got a letter in the mail from the IRS saying that I was getting the second stimulus check on February 15th, but I already got it. Is this for the third stimulus check? No. So the letter is to let you know that the second stimulus check was sent out and you should have received it. If you didn't receive the second stimulus check, then hold on to that letter, but there has been no mention of the third $1,400 stimulus check sent out yet. Next question comes from JY Selly 2011 asks, are they going by the 2018 tax return to send our stimulus? If we filed our 2020 taxes, will they go by that? Yes, they're going to go by whatever recent tax return they have on file. So if you file your 2020, then they're going to go by that. So whichever is on file. Next question, Philip White asks, will it extend the unemployment besides just raising it from $300 to $400? Yes, they will. So they're going to raise it from $300 to $400, and then that's going to go until the end of August, August 29th. Next question, Michaela Byron asks, so I'm confused about the child tax credit. I got my taxes today, so since I got them before the bill passed, I'm going to get the $2,000 instead of $3,600, or will I get paid the difference starting July? Great question. So if you file your taxes now, even if they pass the bill today, you're not going to get the $3,600 or $3,000 now. That's going to be in the future. So right now, you're going to get the $2,000 child tax credit because that's what's available now. When the bill passes, then they're going to start paying you ahead of time. Basically, rather than getting it in 2022, they're going to pay it on a monthly basis starting July 1st. So that's for the 2020. When you file your 2021 taxes, they're going to pay you a little earlier. Hopefully that makes sense. That is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To brighten your day a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Oh, hi guys. I Hi guys, this is Bill. This is the tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing you should do. Remember when you were a kid, you always used your imagination in your mind. That's why it's called imagination. Imagining what you're thinking about. And remember that when you were a kid, you use your imagination for like anything, like movies. You watched movies. You imaginate yourself with it. You may sometimes when you're watching cool movies, use your imagination to do the same thing if you want. And also, can I tell you something? I watched a movie and now I'm all about it. And now I'm a Ghostbuster. Like this one, you shoot out light and it makes the ghost disappear. And this one, you tap it like this, and it makes you disappear, make the ghost disappear. So that's all I wanted to tell you. Bye.
If you wanted to get involved in the stock market, not really sure what to do, want some investor tips, especially since the market is a little down now, it's always good to buy when the market is red, so it goes back up. Buy low, sell high. I recommend clicking this video over here. It's on my Wise Sense channel. It's 5 investor tips for beginners if you want to get started investing in the stock market. So click that video now and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.